Announcing a special meeting at the end of this month. It could be another signal that production cuts will be coming to offset falling oil prices. OPEC recently agreed to slash output by 1.5 million barrels a day in October, but that move had virtually no impact on how crude prices moved. So how can oil-producing nations survive the nosedive? Here now to talk about that, the economy, and maybe a little bit about art is Shafiq Gaber, Artok Group Chairman, Managing Director, called the Donald Trump of the Middle East and one of the world's leading investors in Asian and Oriental art. So we got a lot to talk about, Mr. Gaber. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
First off, an update. You live in Egypt, correct?
Yes. That's
okay. How's the economy doing in the North African, Middle Eastern region right now with the price of oil way down?
What's really happening, Brian, is the economies so far are doing well because the impact of what's going on around the world has not reached. What's going on is growth rates between 6, 7, 8%. However, we're preparing, and frankly, there is no concept of decoupling. So those economies are going to be hurt. Egypt has never had the sophistication of investing.
Or the oil market. It has oil, but not to the extent of many of the other nations in the region.
The other nations in the Gulf are going to be impacted in a much bigger way because of the drop of oil prices. The sovereign wealth funds are going to feel the impact. But it's not how much also you have, it's what you do with what you have. So the investment decision of where that money goes is going to make a difference.
The key to Egypt, though, is security, is because it's tourism at the end of the day.
That's true, but it's also a very diversified economy right now, with huge exports coming to the United States, going to Europe, linkages in the Middle East as far as other products, basic raw materials. So it's a very diversified. It's no longer just tourism as it used to be 10 years ago. It's an economy that's growing at 7, but I really expect it's going to have at least a drop to maybe 5, 5.5%.
We have seen many of the North African nations, Libya in particular, Algeria, move to more of, I don't want to say capitalism, but certainly more in that direction. They have joined many of the world's economies. Libya, of course, was very closed off for years. Where does Egypt fall in the scenario?
Egypt is a very much a mixed economy. It is an economy where 75% of its GDP comes from the private sector. So market plays a very key role. And at a time where you are seeing bailouts and you're seeing renationalization of assets, financial institutions, Egypt's going the other way around. It's privatizing. So it's putting all its state-owned assets into the market, which is interesting because we don't have very much of those so-called toxic financial instruments. And the banks there have very strict regulation. So we're not going to be impacted from the financial situation, but we will be impacted by the global slowdown.
How do you see the world's economy? I know you've got interests all over the world, and you used to run a consortium of 19 different steel companies.
What's really happening is as the world sort of prepares itself, and I'm a realist, I'm neither an optimist or a pessimist, I think there are some great opportunities in countries which are not on the radar screen. And I'm talking all the 37 years of our company have been investing in areas such as the Czech Republic when it moved from communism to free market, Slovakia. Today we're looking at countries such as Albania, Armenia, Montenegro, where there are opportunities there. And yes, there are linkages, but there are unique opportunities in specific
Do you think
sectors.
Eastern Europe is one of the best places to invest then? Put private capital in the world right now?
Eastern Europe, countries such as Egypt, countries such as Morocco, which are not impacted, I think have specific opportunities.
Let's talk about something fun. There's a lot of negative news out there. You've got one of the biggest Asian art collections in the world. You've written a new book on that. We had a very negative auction in New York last night on contemporary art. Where do you see opportunity in the art market? Because it is a good leading indicator of wealth and the economy.
I have all my life been sort of acting as a bridge in business and other aspects between East and West. And one of my greatest passions is Orientalist art. And I've been collecting for 20 years. And I'm very happy to say it has not been impacted by what's going on so far. However, it is a fantastic genre which has brought a lot of controversy. But it's truly been not just art, but it's also a tool of communication. And you can use art and culture to bridge gaps between understanding between peoples around the world.
Well said. You should head down to Princeton University. I live in Princeton. Their university museum is one of the greatest collections of Middle Eastern and Oriental art in the world. It's fantastic.
Have you been to the Middle East, Brian?
I have not. I've been to parts of the world, heading that way, Greece, etc., but I have not. I would love to go.
Love to see you there.
I would love to come. Note to Fox Business.
Very nice to see
the Middle Eastern tour for Brian Sullivan. I would love to do it.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.